I am Teja. So today we'll go through about a brief session on analysis and analytics. We'll have a little background of taking up this session. Whenever we take a session, whether it's an online or a classroom, the first question comes up with every student's mind is, so we hear a lot of analysis and analytics. So we know about business analysis, as you guys are aware of that. We have been trained in that. At the same time, we also hear the words like analytics, business analytics. We listen the words like business intelligence, data analysis, data analytics, data science. This all about confuse us because there are a lot of buzzwords which we are hearing in and out there, and we are confused what is all about, right? So this session is aimed about to give an overview, to give an insight about what is this all about in a bird's eye view, in a high level perspective. The at the end of the day, at the end of this session, the aim is to you guys will walk out of this session with an understanding about what are this all analytics and analysis stuff is all about. Okay, and also the expectation about Q&A. So there is less of presentation from my side, and we'll have given more space to Q&A, question and answers. Are we good to go? Any questions? Okay, give me a second. Then I'll try. Yeah, is it fine now?
Yeah, I guess we should begin now. It's fine, no problem.
Yeah. Uh, are you able to see it clearly now?
Yeah, we are good to go. You can like proceed, no problem.
Okay, thanks. Across the words like business analytics, business intelligence, and data science. So there is a thin line of difference between all of this, right? And and also there is a little confusion that whenever students come to the class, that they say that so you teach here the business analysis course, but one of my friends said that he's taking up the business analytics course. What is the difference between that? Are they same? Are they different? So the idea is like there is a big deal of difference between that. So we should be in a position to understand that what is the difference between all of this, and we also have to make sure that where we are good at that, so that we can choose our career in that direction, right? So as you all are business analysis students, I'm not going to stress more about what is business analysis, right? So we'll discuss more about business analysis and you can correlate about your knowledge on business analysis, how these are different from the business analysis, right? So before going ahead, uh, a little brief about business analysis. I expect you guys will tell me about, right? So what is business analysis? So analyzing the business, understanding the client's requirements. In one word, you can say that understand the problem of the customer, analyze them, and come up with an solution which solves that problem, right? It's more about an analysis, understanding the problem of the customer, analyze them, and come up with a solution to solve that problem. And that solution is always be on the IT perspective, right? We design an IT solution to the client which solves the problem. That's what a business analysis is all about. And it is not related to the data. It's more about uh, giving an IT solution to them. So in business analysis, so those who perform a business analysis, we call them as a business analyst. So as a business analyst, what we do, we gather the requirements from them and we analyze those requirements and we prepare different documentations uh, and convey those requirements to the clients. Convey those requirements to the technical team to deliver the product as per the client expectations, and we give that product to the client. As a business analyst, we do that. So now, what is business analytics then? So business analytics is nothing but when we heard about something called as analytics, uh, there is a lot of technology has been involved in that, right? So as a part of analytics, we do a little of analysis, but with certain technologies where data has been involved. So what we do is we, as a part of business analytics, we investigate the past business performance. So how do we investigate the past business performance? With the data. So with the data of previous years, let's say I want to see that sales of previous years. What is the profits of the previous years? How is the relationship between the sales and the profits? So we use the different technologies to understand, to investigate the past business performance. And with that, we'll get an insights about future business performance. So it mostly involves uh, data and reporting. So business analytics, as someone who works on the business analytics or a business intelligence, we mostly concerned from a business perspective. I have to prepare dashboards. So when we are talking about dashboards, it involves data. I have to prepare a reporting tools. How to develop the standards for reports and metrics. So as someone, a business analyst who works in perspective of a business analytics, he should be a subject matter expert in the data, right? So if you are preparing a reporting tools or if you are preparing a dashboards, uh, then by using the past data, historical data, and making sure that we are getting the insights of the future business performance. We that branch is called business analytics or business intelligence, and different companies interchanges that uses. So business intelligence. Someone asked that have you ever been worked in a BI? Have you worked in a business intelligence? So business intelligence is nothing but a group of technologies which uh, work for the business analytics, like SAS, like Power BI, like advanced SQL. So these are all like Informatica. So these are all the tools which helps us to perform the business analytics, which helps to do the reporting, which helps us to prepare the dashboards. So these days, there is a less buzz on business analytics because previously there is nothing called as a data science or a data analytics. That's why there is a lot of concentration on the business analytics, which is typically related to only my business perspective. I did not consider any outside factor. I only take the past historical performance of my business, particular to specific field, whether it is a finance or marketing. So I cannot go diverse. Whereas a new uh, area came into the picture that is called data analysis or data analytics. A person who performs that role called as a data analyst. So what does a data analyst do? So typically there is two types of data: unstructured data and the structured data. So the first major role of a data analyst is to we gather the data, then next is called the data cleaning or a data cleansing. That is keeping the data in a structured format. Gathering the data, keeping the data in the structured format. It is so that it's easy for us to analyze the data and the interpret the data. So mostly for a data analytics, we use the descriptive analysis. So what does a descriptive analysis talks about? We get the insights from the historical data. That's why we said that it mainly deals with what happened so far, so that we can identify the trends. So data analysis is mostly used to solve the business problems with the data. So data gathering, as you know that the another technical term called for a data gathering is data mining. So what we do, data mining is nothing but getting the data from the different sources, and we store that data. Where we use the tools like big data, Hadoop, and all that. That is called as a big data, storing the huge amount of data. So after that, we clean the data, we analyze the data by using the different techniques, and we interpret the data. Now, so we let us go with that, and after this, we'll discuss with few examples which have been worked, and for that particular example, how a business analyst and how a data analyst and how a data scientist would have been differed. And after that, if you have any questions, we can discuss. Now, who is data scientist? Guys, any guess?
Any
Any
person
guess?
who has worked, yeah, a person who has worked on data, finding a logical interpretation of the data.
Right. So now we get, as you said, that someone who works on the data and find the logical interpretation of the data. Yes, we call them as a data scientist. So there is a thin line of a gap between a data scientist and a data analyst. So we'll discuss that a difference once we complete about uh, data scientist. But yes, so that data analytics is a subset of data scientist. Sorry, data analytics. So parent is a data scientist, whereas data science, whereas child is a data analytics. So as we discussed in data analytics, we'll try to get insights from the historical data confined to that particular area. We try to identify the trends, whereas we go out of the box, right? As the name science, there is data science. Science means what? Going out of the box. So trying to connect the dots, interlinking. So how do we connect? As you said, that's a logical interpretations. So data science can be used in different fields. Now, why do we need a data scientist then, right? A data analyst enough for every organization, that because most of the organizations will work for a problems related to them. They have a defined problem, and with the data collected, they identify the trend and come up with a solution. Then where do we need a scientist then? The world has become very fast. Now every company is looking for a problem solver. And how do we solve that problem? That problem solver should become a trend in the market, that which keeps that organization is gives the first mover advantage. So if you are a problem solver, then we are in. So every company is looking for a problem solver, and if you are the problem solver and which have great knowledge on data, then yes. So let's take an example, guys. Now we know, right? So what are the future areas to increase the revenue opportunities with iPhone? As we know that iPhone works on the premium segment, and always remember that a data analysis starts with the business case evaluation, right? If there is no business problem, there is not required for a data scientist. If there is a business problem, right, then a data scientist comes into the picture. How can I solve that business problem by using the data? Now, let's take an example of what are the future areas to increase the revenue opportunities with an iPhone. So this problem is faced by the Apple few years back. Now there are at that point of time there was a fierce competitor from the Samsung, and Apple iPhone works on the premium segment. How can I increase the revenue opportunities with the iPhone? There should be a differentiator. There should be a value addition. They cannot just add a one or two small features and quote a premium amount from them. So any guess that how a data scientist solve that problem? Any guess? There would be many.
By being more innovative.
Yes, of course, yes. By being more innovative. That innovative should be cannot be on par with anyone. That innovative has to be out of box. That no one has been imagined before, right? That is where if we produce that no one has been imagined before, then we can put a good uh, premium for that product. And you know what iPhone came up with? Siri, right? So now we know that Google uh, and all that, right? But before that, Google Voice and everything came into the picture, Alex and all that, who's the player which iPhone has been uh, associated with Siri? Everyone talks about Siri. Then how Siri works? It is not someone. Uh, uh, it is not someone who just prepare, right? Siri works. If you clearly look into the Siri works on voice recognition. To prepare a voice recognition, data scientists come up with a technology called as NLP. If you have heard about NLP, NLP talks about natural language processing. But if I talk about, hey Siri, what's the temperature today? So it is processing our language, right? It is understanding our language and moreover, converting it and giving us an answer which is understandable to us. How does uh, a, a, a technology, a tool can understand a human voice? And how can it give a response, right? So, yes, sorry, yes. So how does a technology came which recognize the human voice? So it gives a loss of burst to the iPhone, saying that yes, it gives yes, there is a device where we don't need to touch the keyboard. We don't need to do anything. We just the phone lays somewhere. I just call it Hey Siri, just like our friend. It responds immediately. What do you want? How does happens? They they get a huge amount of data analytics or data science. We call it as they collect huge amount of data. Where what are the common terms used by the humans? if I'm talking with you, my friend, if I'm talking with my wife, if I'm talking with someone else, what about the common things I generally use it? They collected all this data. It's not an easy one, right? They collected huge amount of this data, and also they analyzed what are the answers to this data, and they trained this machine with an artificial intelligence. If you get this type of a question, the answer should be in this direction. And the Siri is the first product which gives which shows the world the power of NLP, which is a core of data science. We'll discuss about this part much more clear. I'll give you what I have worked in my organization on this natural language processing. The other question is, let's say, how can I give best results to users? This is simple. So this is more generic. How can we give a best results to users? So here again, a data scientist comes into the picture. As we know that uh, data science is nothing but taking the historical data, and it does not confine with that. Connect the dots. How can I give it to? Uh, how can I interlink in such a way that it gives the best results for others? So if you take here, I'm sure that most of us use the Gmail, right? So if you remember that, I just copy pasted one of the conversation with my student here. If you see here below, one of the student asked me to send a document which I've been taught to them, uh, and if you see which you are explaining everyday worksheet, so it is auto given. The Gmail has given me auto reply. I will send you the details. Thanks a lot. Thanks for uh, thanks for the information and all that. How does Gmail know about this? So here, the Gmail previously they worked with natural language. Now it is transcripts. It is called as a data transcript. That means your machine is able to read the content. What you said. Its reading is not only the part is able to understand, and understanding is the toughest part. And again, it is able to give you the answer. And if I am there, I would definitely uh, type the reply to that mail, something related to what it is given there, right? How does a Gmail able to do that? That is about a data science. So that means it is able to read the content from your side, analyze them, and come up with a solution and come up with the answers for that. So simply what I do, I just click on that and send that mail will go to the recipient. So here we have to look at the role of a data scientist here. How does the machine is able to? Previously, it is NLP. Here now data transcripts. That means we call it as a data transcript. That means it is able to read the transcript content. So here the different algorithms like machine learning, deep learning comes into the picture. So I will give you of examples for you guys to make you understand this, and we'll discuss few more examples. Now, there's another problem that how can I understand customer better? Let's take an example of uh, I always teach this example in my class. Uh, let's say we all know about uh, this shops like apparel stores, like big apparel stores like uh, what I say Central. What else are there? So we have Central, we have Shopper Shops, right? and how can I increase my revenue. Now the data scientists have taken up that challenge. You know what they have given us? A face recognition technology. So face recognition, we know that how the face recognition works, right? We always use recognition. As we know that previously, uh, when we used to uh, wants to tag a friend in the Facebook, how do we do? We have to type their name. Now, when we upload a pic of our friends in the Facebook, what does Facebook is doing? It is asking us to giving the friend's name. Should I tag his name? And it is Facebook claims that we are 99.5% accurate. How does a Facebook recognize the our face and clearly gives us is that the person? Because our face uh, changes a bit, right? It's not that my face will be the same after 5 years. But still, after 5 years, if I upload a pic, still the Facebook recognizes. Let's say if my friend uploads the pic, still my Facebook recognizes the face and tells that should I tag that person, and the tagging is 99.5% accurate. The suggestions given by the Facebook. So that is called a face recognition technology. Now, how does a data scientist use face recognition technology here in the super stop, let's say in center? Now, what they do is, for example, we have an Allen Solly store in a central, or let's say we have a Park Avenue store. Now, what they do is they kept this CCTV. What they have done is when there would be a facial expression, right? Let's say the facial expression would be the price is very much high. Our expression would be, oh my god, too high. Or if there are very less variety of variants, then our face would be a disappointing one. Something whatever we are feeling inside. What happens every time a person cannot walk to you and ask you that what is your satisfaction levels. So what happens if I capture the facial expressions of the customer and I decode that facial expressions, right? So what they done is uh, they just capture the and if you see here, that artificial intelligence is it tells about the gender and what your facial expression is. Are you happy? Are you sad, surprised, angry? A lot of variants. And tomorrow, let's say that if the prices are too high or the variation, like the number of varieties they understood that maybe this gives a business case to them, and they found that yes, these facial expressions they are angry or they are sad. That means either the prices are high or they are fine. Their expecting is less. Tomorrow they will refill their uh, the store or they will reduce the price. But uh, this data analysis gives you to the customer, sorry, to the company, right? It is easy for them to analyze the customer without even asking them. How to surprise my customers? So as we know that there is a surprise element. If someone surprised us, we come up with a lot of enthusiasm, right? We come up with some satisfaction from ourselves that yes, as we know that they come up with here. I have given an example of Coca-Cola, but we can also take up an example of Nike. What is a Nike has done that? So whenever the customer comes too close to their store, let's say half kilometer, 500 meters near to their store, Nike is auto detected the signals and a separate offer will go to the particular the person only saying that so and so Nike store is near to us and take a 30% off especially designed for you. How good is that? How cool is that? That means Nike knows that you are near 500 meters to them, and it is asking you to come to their store. And by giving you that, I'm giving you 20% off. These are the varieties, variants, and all that. You get a message from the Nike. This is what happening in the US now. It will come to in India soon. That how does Nike knows about your preference? How does Nike knows about the data analysis, artificial intelligence, or data science in terms of disease, predicting the disease? I would like to give you around three examples. So that is for the US healthcare. Want to reduce the dependency of doctors in the hospitals. School, right? It's a hospital. They said that we want to reduce the number of doctors or a dependency of doctors in our hospital. So how can we do that? So they tell us that leverage the data science. So it is a kidney care department. So it is a kidney care clinic. So they highly specialize in treating the kidney alignments. What we have done is we took around 25 years of data. So 25 years of data, that means what are the different alignments given by the patient faces, and what are the different lab reports suggested by the doctor, and what are the different medications given by the uh, doctor. So the aim is uh, the business solution which you are given to is in a high level. When a customer here, the patient is the customer for us. So when a patient walks into the hospital, so the first thing he do is the patient goes to the nurse and gives his symptoms or alignments. What does a nurse do? Nurse will note down that symptoms, and that symptoms automatically goes to the lab system. I mean, as like it has been since the symptoms are stored in this system. System will gives us what are the lab, uh, you know, what are the tests that patient has to undergo. The same details will go to the lab. After the test has been conducted, the lab reports are uploaded by the lab technicians. System will read that lab reports, and system will suggest the medication that if dialysis is required, what or not. If it is required, what type of dialysis is required. By understanding is the blood flow rate, what type of uh, that type of a dialysis he has to undergo. That means there are different types of dialysis where dialysis machine is connected to the uh, forehand, like in the hand, by connecting the arteries and veins. Whereas another type is dialysis machine is connected to directly back to our kidney. Other one is dialysis machine is connected to artery next to our heart, or a small chip inserted into our stomach. So this all will be given by the system, and also what type of medicines we have to use, how many times a dialysis has to be performed. These are not given by the doctor. It is given by the system. And at the trial, the idea is the report has to be generated and send it to the doctor, and the doctor will verify it. and if the doctor feels it's fine, correct, then uh, doctor will authorize. If not, doctor will change. So ideally, there are around every day in the US, a doctor can treat around 30 to 35 patients. After employing this technology, a doctor can able to check around 100 reports, 2:1. So one doctor lost their, half of the doctors lost their job. So this is how a technology works on, right? So how does this happens? How does system knows all this? By incorporating huge amount of data and giving an interlinking about that. If this is the problem, this application has to be there with the machine learning or a deep learning algorithm. That's what a data science has done that. So how to increase the profits and how to decrease the losses. And this is the one of the best or like best Indian organization which we really like it because if we go to the store, if you ask if you get a want to get a EMI or if you get that product for 6 months or 1 year EMI, or if for any loan, Bajaj Finserv takes exactly 2.5 minutes to either to grant you the loan. That means in 2.5 minutes, it will go through all your past data and your capability and all that, and it gives you. So previously, if someone wants to a loan, it every bank or any financial organization used to take a lot of time. And that's why they are only confined to the particular financial organizations. But when the Bajaj Finserv came to the market, there is right. They have come up with a concept like that. They have revolutionized the way a customer buy the capital goods. Bajaj Finserv is there in every small stores. How does they come up with? They highly used uh, this data. So what are the major focus areas here we use? We use the uh, as a statistical analysis. So statistical is nothing but a statistic. So they use statistics as we know that there are descriptive statistics, descriptive analytics, predictive modeling. There are we use different types of histograms, bar charts. This all comes under a statistical analysis hypothesis. So this is a part of mathematics where a mathematics is linking with the technology. And we should be good at visual analytics. What is a visual analytics talking about? The entire coding, but how do that result comes? The human brain is learned to understand the diagrams better, right? And graphs better rather than a big document. So if I want to see the different sale, how the sales has been impacted in last 5 to 6 years, if I see that in a graph, I can understand. So that visual analytics is a part of different tools like Tableau, QuickView, and all that. Data cleaning or a data cleansing, as you know, we know that there's a machine learning and other concept called as deep languages like R. These days there are different tools like Spark, Scala, uh, and Kafka and all that. So these are all the tools which enhances um, a person to do the data science. Now, so as we discuss about this, now let's take an example of a business analyst, a data analyst, or a data scientist differ. So the project which I worked, as I tell you, that health disease analyst. So I would like to learn from your side that. So if you are joined as a business analyst, so what is the expected role in that project? as a business analyst, what do you do in that project? If that type of a project.
Gathering the requirements and
Yes.
designing the solution and deliver the requirement. That's right.
Good. So, as I told you, right, the process, a patient walks into the hospital and do all admits with a document and all that. This all, the process has been designed by the business analyst, right? So, and also the requirement gathering. So, what is the requirements here? If the requirements, what type of requirements I get it? So, this is where the expected business problem and this is what the expected solution. Please hope you're able to hear me. Chatbot has generated. So these all are the requirements. Who gathers these requirements? Gathers the business analyst gathers these requirements, and based on these requirements, they design the right. So, see, this is what the expected business problem, and this is what the expected solution. Please, this has to be delivered, and please do what it is sufficient from the data perspective, right? So this is the role of a business analyst. The data, right? So we data analysts gather the data. Let's say if it is required 20 years or 25 years of data, that data is unstructured data. So what they do is that they convert that number of years to, let's say, 20 or 25 years of eh, data which is properly, it's not there, which we don't understand anything, huge amount of data. What they do is they make it as a structured one. That is called a data cleansing. Now, or data cleaning, then they analyze the data and they interpret it. So with the interpretation, we cannot do anything, right? That's still that role of a data analytics. If it is a data scientist, then data scientist will use the machine learning and deep learning techniques by using different tools like R, Python, uh, and Kafka and all that. What they do is they predict the future. If this is comes, what should be the outcome, right? So they do is they do the data validation, they do the data visualization, and they predict the future. That means, as you know, that data analytics is a subset of data science. Data science is just going ahead and we are predicting that. That means they prepare an algorithm. If this is the case, this should happen. So if the patient comes with so and so problem, uh, the system has to give the these are the medication that we have to use. That is the role of a data scientist there. So we start as a data analytics career if required, then we go up to the ladder and we can become the data scientist. So what we do is we use the combination of outcomes from the previous data, and we use the computing reasoning, which we add a logic part in that. Any questions? No. In any, I'll give you one more, uh, let's say, one more project. Let's say, currently we are working on a transcript data. So what does a transcript data talks about? So that would be an extension to this. Uh, so this transcript data, we are totally worked on a financial perspective. For example, as we know that we have a quarterly earnings, right? This quarterly earnings, how does the quarterly earnings will take place? The top level management like CEO, CF, and they come out to the media and release the press release, and they give you the all the quarterly earnings data. So we are working on developing a software where the system will auto we record that presentation and system will auto convert that uh, voice into the data within few minutes. If that is the case, that is okay. But what the logic which we can get it? So, for example, uh, system will predict that from last 8 quarters or 10 quarters, uh, currently the CEO is like going at a rate of 80% from the previous 8 quarters at a speed of 80%. That means previously the CEO has to go on different speed. Now the speed of resulting giving the results are slow. As we know that, right? If you're not confident, if you're feeling bad, or if you're feel that there is something wrong with you, right? We generally talks very slowly. So the CEO is giving 80%. The speed of results are 80% to the previous. That means something is bad. I can expect that. It's good that, right? Then if I give that data, then I can say sell that share, expecting that uh, there is CEO is going to announce something bad. And also, if I'm not confident, guys, let's say if you ask me a question, if I'm not confident of answering, what do do? I use the lot many words like oh, yeah, yes. I feel like something. I try to come up with an answer, right? So this system also try to catch all these words from the CEO. Is he bragging out? Is he giving a straightforward answers? Or is he using more of the syllables? Then yes, system will predict CEO using more of syllables. That means he is going to give you a poor results. Then yes, I can use that in the share market, and I can expect that yes, this is not time, not right time. Let's say CEO is going 120% speed than the last 3 quarters. Then means he's going to announce something good. So good for me. I can buy the share. How cool it is. And also, I just giving an example of uh, most of the time, last 5 to 6 quarters, CEO gives most of the presentation. These I don't know why most of the answers questions are answered by others. Some that means CEO is trying to avoid the questions. That means something not going good is going on. So these all are predicting by the system. So these are cool stuff which have been going on in the market now. It's all done by the tools like data science. So how can, if you want to become a data scientist, you have to be good at both things, statistics, and we have to be very good at uh, working on the tools like R, Python. These days, Anaconda is also into the market, an advanced version of Python. Uh, so and all that. So there should be things we have to keep into the mind. What is the difference between someone talks about business analysis or someone talks about data analytics? We should be in a position to understand that what are all these about. So as a business analyst, what should I learn? As a data scientist, what should I learn? As a business analytics person, what should I learn? Yeah. Any questions? So yeah, this is the high view, high level view, which I thought of uh, giving you, so that you guys will have a brief view about data science and data analytics, business analysis and business analytics. I'm not stressed on business analysis because I know you guys are experts in that. Yes. Now, podium is open for questions. If you have any questions, guys, I can feel free to ask me. Any questions?
Yes, having taken a course of business analysis or as a business analyst, am I eligible or will I be able to take up a job as a data analyst, or do I have to take a separate course?
Okay, so uh, if I'm right, you said your question is like, let's say if I'm the business analyst, I may uh, get a take a role of a data scientist or a data analyst. Am I right?
Correct.
Yes. So the first step of data analyst is like, a business analyst, as you said, that because we understand the customer, we understand the customer's problem. So we are pretty good to become a data scientist, but with the knowledge of a business analysis, it's not enough for us to become a data scientist. So or data analyst, we can stop till understanding the customer problem, but that is not enough. We have to learn how to read the data. To read the data, we should be very strong at statistical analysis. That means we have to be good at statistics. If we are very good at statistics, then the next step is how to use that statistical knowledge in programming. So these are two things. We should be learning programming. That means how do you write the code in Python, how to write the code in R. So if you are good at coding, but if you are not good at uh, data statistical tools, then no. So we should be good at both. I should be having a knowledge on statistics. I should be having knowledge on R and Python. That means then we can club it together with the knowledge of business analysis. That means I can understand the customer problem and I can know that how to derive a solution to that problem. Then that makes a perfect match to become a data scientist. So to become a data scientist, we should learn two new concepts called statistics and uh, programming. Am I answered your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So one more question I've seen in the chat is what is the difference between data analysis and the data analytics? See, actually, it's a very good question. Data analytics starts with the data analysis. So analysis is nothing but what is a preparation work, whereas analytics is using the tools, right? So analysis is nothing but, for example, how to take the data, how to transform it, how can I use the data to get that solution, but I cannot do that without a technology, right? So for example, uh, how to get an insight from the data, I need a visualization tool like I like Tableau or uh, PQ, and there are a lot many tools in the market that comes under analytics. Without using the tool, I cannot analyze. I know how to use the tool, but I don't know how to read that charts. So reading the charts comes under analysis, whereas using that tool, uh, where or using that data comes under analytics. So data analysis is a subset of analytics. So if I'm doing a data analytics, that means I'm doing a data analysis. So we are utilize how to utilize that data in a technological perspective comes under analytics. So if someone says that I'm doing a data analytics, that means I'm doing data analysis also. Any other questions?